Today, I'll be showing you the 3 best strategies you must be using in the brand new season of Merge Tactics. Coming in at the 3rd best comp, we have the full Superstars plus Golden Knight and Bandit. Now, this comp is very good for 2 main reasons. The first is that full Superstars are still very busted. If you're somehow able to max them out, which is now very easy to do with the Spirit Empress, which is why this comp has risen in the ranks, then you can get infinite skeletons from the Witch, infinite stuns from the Electro Giant, infinite defense and reflection from the Monk, and so on. And as I mentioned earlier, now this is super easy to do because everybody has access to the Spirit Empress. The one problem with this comp is its price. It's really expensive, but now that's actually solved because the Spirit Empress is free, meaning that everybody can unlock the Spirit Empress and take advantage of this comp. Now, the second reason is that Assassins are super underrated. They can instantly teleport to your opponent's side of the board, basically, so that's really strong, especially when you're facing predominantly ranged comps. So if you're facing comps with, let's say, the Executioner or like the Princess in the back, then this comp would be really good because you can actually use those units to actually counter their backline units. We also do get 3 Musketeers here, which is very good start for us. And I'm just going to take that 3-star Wizard. I mean, there's really no reason for me not to. We lose 1 Elixir from the Spirit Empress ability, but we get a 3-star Wizard, which is very good. And we can use that Elixir to actually buy the other cards that we need here. So we can definitely go for this Monk next up. But yeah, the only problem with this comp is its price. It has a very steep price, which is why it is number 3 on the list. This type of comp is very good. The ceiling is very high, but the only issue is that it's quite expensive. So that's the problem. But other than that, this comp is super great. And I also honestly like to run the comp a lot because the price isn't that big of an issue now because the Spirit Empress is available for free from everybody. So it's not that big of a problem here, which is why I think it's actually one of the top 3 comps now on the list here. But we are basically just going to face this guy. And as you can see here, we don't have a lot of leveled up troops because, I mean, number 1, I'm playing a little bit slower right now. But number 2, the comp is very expensive. You have the Golden Knight 5 Elixir, Monk 5 Elixir, Witch 4 Elixir, Bandit 4 Elixir. More pricey comp, but if you do master the Spirit Empress gameplay and learn how to cycle very quickly, generate that Elixir very quickly, then you will learn how to max out this comp, honestly, in like 1 or 2 rounds. That's even doable when you're playing at full maximum speed. That is very doable here. So let's sell the 2-star here, and let's put in our Bandit here. We have all of the cards that we need here. Let's sell the 2-star Golden Knight here just to get a bit more Elixir. Probably will sell the 2-star Bandit there, and then now we probably have enough Elixir to try to survive for the rest of the game. Let's sell the 2-star Monk here. And now we 100% have enough Elixir to survive for the rest of the game. So all we really need to do here is just try to go for those 3-star cards if we possibly can here. Maybe it's possible. Last second, I do get a 3-star Witch, which is very good here. But this guy's comp is very weak. He does have 10 HP though, but you guys are going to see this comp is the type to improve exponentially. So if you have 1-star full Superstars, it's not going to do that much. But once you level up to 2-star, then it's going to do a lot more. As you can see here, we have mostly 2-star Superstars, yet they still do crazy work because the abilities, at least for some of these cards, aren't actually touched by the level of the card. But what I mean by that is even if you have a 2-star E-Giant, the radius isn't going to increase. So that for that card, it doesn't really matter here. But as you level up these cards to 3-stars, they're going to do so much more value. They're going to get more value than most other cards. Like the Wizard 3-star is not going to make a huge difference. But as you can see, that 3-star Witch is completely just frying our opponent as well as that Monk. So this comp is very, very good. Next up in the number 2 spot, we have Double Giants plus Wizard, Executioner, Monk, and Archer Queen. Now, in my opinion, this was the number 1 comp in the last season. And a lot of people would definitely agree. But I actually believe that there's now one comp that is actually better than this comp that actually did not make my list in the last season. Let's try to go for this Goblin Machine here, try to at least guarantee double Goblins. And then I think I'll probably stay for now. We have the double Goblins, no reason for me to really force here. We also get a merge for the next round. But the reason this comp is so good is because of how versatile it is against many different matchups, many different cards. You have the Monk, which of course reflects basically infinite damage at some times is what it feels like. And you have the Double Giants, which are also very tanky, the Archer Queen to snipe their backline, and you have the Double Blasters to do crazy damage here. So now we honestly did get a pretty late start. Not the best start, in my opinion, for sure, but not the worst either, I guess. It could be a lot better, to be fair, but we really just need to cycle here and try to go for some good cards in our comp, like the Archer Queen. Let's go for the RG upgrade, the Queen upgrade as well. We get the Wizard as well. And I think unfortunately we'll just have to go for something like this. Honestly, not the best start for sure, but hopefully we can sort of come back in this game. We have, what, 5 HP, so we just need to get 1 kill to survive here. And yeah, nobody's running the cards in my comp, which is also really good here. But you're going to see the Archer Queen is super good because she snipes their backline. So if they have a wizard here, that guy almost died from a 2-star Archer Queen here. And the rest of your cards have a good combination of tankiness plus damage. So let's go for the XE here. Let's put this guy in. I probably will sell that guy for now. And we can just do something like this. Our last card that we need here is the Monk here. So hopefully we can try to go for that card. We definitely just need to merge and sell more of these cards to get some elixir here. I think I will merge and sell this card. And then as long as we get the Monk here, I think we have a pretty good shot of surviving this round. And we do get the Monk last second. Actually, we don't even need it. I just realized we only have 5 space. So we actually don't even need... We actually can't even use the Monk there. To be honest, we have a lot of 2-stars here. Our traits are really good. Get a lot of these pretty versatile traits, and we're just going to easily be able to take out this Echo Sage here. And if you are sort of one who's sort of stuck in like the mid-ladder range, I guess you could say, this comp is really good because it sort of counters the Echo Sage, I would like to believe, because a lot of your troops here are pretty spread out. You have a good balance of range units. You have, I guess, half and half, so pretty perfect balance. And you also have the Monk here, which is probably the biggest counter to the Echo Sage because it can literally just one-shot the Echo Sage. Sort of, you know, Uno Reverse card, I guess, on that guy. So it is a really good option here. We also get the 3-star Queen at the last second. And yeah, I don't think this guy can really sort of counter us now. I thought he'd switch as Prince, I guess. But yeah, okay, I did forget that we are at, what, like 200 trophies right now? So maybe that's a misjudgment on mine here. But we are going to completely just fry this guy, to be honest. And you can see why. The Archer Queen, she draws the cards towards her, but then she abilities, so the other cards sort of get distracted and run away, and then she can just pop up again and sort of lure them in. So this comp is really good. All your units are spread out very equally, so it's definitely super good here, especially if we can maybe get another 3-star, then I think we can definitely close out the game here. But another strong suit of this card is this comp is that you can pivot pretty well. Like what I've done in a lot of cases is if I, let's say, had a lot of cards that were blocked, I would sometimes just switch to the full superstars because you could easily just switch out like 2 cards here. And this guy does have the 4-star Echo Sage, so let's try to spread out our troops here. That's the best sort of piece of advice I could give against the Echo Sage. Make sure to spread out your units and don't have too many melee units because, as you'll see, you know, if you have too many melee cards, then also, I don't know how she just didn't die there. But if you have too many melee units, then obviously the 4-star Sage will be able to just take it out very easily because they're all clumped up. So that's just sort of one piece of advice I have. But I would say let's maybe block his cards, though I do think this game is pretty much over. And yeah, it does look like he gives up there, so let's move on to the next match. But finally, the #1 comp in all of Merch Tactics, in my opinion, is 4 Brutalists plus Archer Queen and Skeleton Dragons. Now, this honestly might be controversial, but I've actually played a lot towards the end of the season, and in my opinion, the 4 Brutalists have really been my bread and butter. It's sort of the comp I would gravitate towards most often if I, you know, had the opportunity to do so because it is just so strong. It counters so many of the top comps in the current meta. Because how the 4 Brutalists work, or actually I guess how the trait rather works, is it actually cuts a percentage of your opponent's HP. So no matter how tanky the opponent's troops are, you'll always cut a percentage of their HP. So not direct HP, which I think is very powerful. And in a lot of cases, if your opponents have very high level cards, like let's say a Monk or something like that has so much HP, you can instantly shred it to pieces with the Brutalist, is what I've personally observed, and it's super effective as well. Let's probably force here, and I think I will just have to merge and sell for, I would say, maybe the first half of the round, at least until I generate enough elixir. I would say this is probably good enough. And then let's actually try to get our Brutalist here. So Mini P.E.K.K.A is good. We just need the Valkyrie here, and then our final card is the Goblin Machine, but we don't have enough elixir, so I actually don't really want to buy it just then because I just don't think we had enough elixir. Let's just pop in the Prince last second. But we did have the option to buy it there, but I didn't really want to do it because we just didn't have elixir to continue our cycle. We would have had to stop there. But as you can see here, against a lot of tanky... Yeah, exactly there. We just cut a percentage of its HP, which is going to be in a lot in many cases. And this comp counters the comp in the #2 spot because it just shreds the Monk, which in my opinion is the #1 card in the game right now, which is what makes this comp super good. You can also defeat Brawlers, which are very popular as well. You just defeat many comps in the meta, which is why I think this is so good. I was able to just beat so many good players last season towards the top of the leaderboard just because I was just using the Brawlers and they just come... Or the Brutalists, and they just... Brawlers. I just like, what, mixed up the Brutalists and the Brawlers. But because they were running cards, and I, of course, I get the Goblin Machine right after the round ends. But because they were using a lot of tanky cards that I was able to counter with the Brutalists, like the Monk, maybe a maxed out Mega Knight here. Also, that guy is going to shred us, but to be fair, he did upgrade his Echo Sage mid-round, so I didn't have a countermeasure to that, but... this comp is super good because it really counters. It's sort of like the kryptonite to a lot of the comps in the meta. So I would say that property is what makes this comp really good here. But let's try to go for the queen. And then our final card that we need is the skeleton dragon. So let's pop in that card. But this comp also works really well with the P.E.K.K.A. and the bar because you'll get the clan, the P.E.K.K.A. trait as well. And then you'll also get, I think there's like one other trait. I think it was Brawler. But it's really hard for comps to stop this comp. I think the best counter to this comp is probably just a comp that's very spaced out, that has a lot of spaced out troops, a lot of range as well, because the Brutalists really thrive from fighting melee units that are sort of clumped together, because then the Valkyrie gets splash damage, of course, the Skeleton King can bleed through and hit multiple targets at once. So it really thrives against comps like those. But let's go for the monk here, and then let's try to maybe upgrade and get maybe one more 3-star if possible. I think that would really help. If we maybe get a 3-star queen, that's going to be really good for us as well. And let's try to go for maybe mini P.E.K.K.A. or skeleton dragons. I did see those two in the shop here, so that could be possible. Nice, we do get a mini P.E.K.K.A. there. But we are against a 4-star Echo here, so I'm going to have to try to sort of prevent my cards from clumping up. It's going to be pretty hard because we have a predominantly sort of melee comp here, so the Echo Sage is one of the best counters to this specific comp, but once you get high in the leaderboard, and because you guys are going to unlock the Empress just completely just obliterates the Echo. It is what you guys will realize after you sort of practice and become good with the Spirit Empress. That's why I personally don't have any complaints about that Echo Sage, because as a Spirit Empress player, I just literally fry the Echo Sage like maybe 8 out of 10 games. But especially when you get to the top of the leaderboard, this comp just counters so many of the best comps that all the top players use. So again, these are the 3 must-use strategies that I think would really help your climb. If I were pushing the diamond, these are pretty much the only 3 comps I would be using if you were only to pick 3. So if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to subscribe. We are so close to 43K. And until then, guys, I will see you in the next video. Peace.